welcome back to my channel. My name is Ashley and today I'm going to be starting a vlog where I read a couple of new thriller books. So I actually just finished this vlog, like I literally just finished a minute ago and realized I have not created an intro, so I already know how this whole vlog is going to go. But I just wanted to do a vlog where I sat down and read a couple of thrillers. I was really in the mood for thrillers. I had a lot just sitting on my shelf as I always do, and I was ready to fly through a couple of them. So in this video I'm going to be reading Rock, Paper, Scissors by Alice Feeney, Not a Happy Family by Shari Lapena, and Razorblade Tears by S.A. Cosby. And when I was reading these books, I actually teased this on my Instagram, one book at a time kind of throughout a couple days, and asked if people could guess what kind of vlog I was filming, and the ideas were just so funny. A lot of people guessed that I was reading Book of the Month books or Book of the Month thrillers, which I didn't even realize was the case, but they all happen to be Book of the Month selections. So if you are a member of Book of the Month and you want to add any of these as add-ons later on, this is a good place to hear about some Book of the Month thrillers as well. But that was pure coincidence. I was just trying to pick up a couple recent thrillers. There was also a guess that I was reading books that are marketed as thrillers but are actually mysteries because of Not a Happy Family specifically, which we'll talk about that later. You'll see how I feel about that, but I actually love that idea. I think that could be fun to do for a future vlog as well. But anyway, I'm gonna read these 3 books, take you along on the journey, see which new thrillers could possibly be a favorite, which really underwhelmed me and do not live up to the hype. So I'm gonna send you back to past Ashley a couple of days ago and take you on the journey of reading these books with me. Okay, so I've started Rock, Paper, Scissors and I am really enjoying it so far. I am about halfway through, so I'm currently at page 135 and it's just really intriguing so far. The pace is really good. The short chapters really keep the plot moving. The atmosphere is good with this being this like isolated cabin out in the middle of nowhere. And the building of suspense is what is really keeping me hooked in the story. This is really good so far in terms of thrillers I've read recently, with just building so much tension, building so much suspense. I feel like I can't trust anybody and I'm just creating all these theories in my mind of what could be going on, and that is my favorite way to feel when I'm reading a thriller. I love it when a book just has me flying through the pages and I'm trying to piece together what's happening and I just have no idea what's going on. So this is just really refreshing. I just really enjoy feeling surprised by a book. It's just got me on a wild ride and I'm having a good time. It's really hard to talk about this book beyond just the synopsis without giving any spoilers because there are some interesting things, there's some surprise elements, and I just feel like all the secrets that you're getting into these 2 characters are what make the story so interesting. So I don't want to tell you anything beyond the synopsis of this being a wife and a husband going off to this cabin for their anniversary in an attempt to repair their marriage, but then things go wrong. Because only knowing that much is what is making this so enjoyable, because every chapter it feels like there's a new element or a new surprise or something new that has me second guessing someone or their motive or certain things or creating theories in my mind. I have a very big suspicion or theory around something to do with the wife, but I don't even want to tell you in case it turns out to be true. But if it's right at the end, I'll tell you my suspicion was right because I'll be proud of that. But I don't know, I'm just having so much fun. And I think it's gonna be like a read it in 2 sittings kind of book, because I read like the first half pretty much in 1 sitting and I really just want to read the second half in 1 more sitting just so I can get to the end and see what's going on. But yeah, I'm having a really good time with it and I hope the ending doesn't let me down. So I finished Rock, Paper, Scissors this evening and I had a really great time with this book. I don't know where I'm landing with a rating. I can't tell if it's a 4-star, a 5-star, or 4.5-star. I'm gonna have to simmer on that for a bit and think about it to decide. But I think experience-wise, like, it was a 5-star reading experience. I had so much fun reading it. It was such a page turner. This is exactly what I want in a thriller. The way some of the things worked out, I didn't love. And if I sat here and explained in spoilers the plot of the book, like what happened and what it all amounted to, I'm like, that's kind of dumb, I think. So yeah, that might bring it down a little bit of an overall rating. Maybe I'll let you know by the end of the video after I sit on it for a couple of days. But right now it's definitely somewhere between a 4 and a 5. I mentioned earlier that I had a suspicion of what was going on with one of these characters and I didn't want to give any spoilers, but I would tell you if my suspicions were correct or if my theories were correct. And partially yes, not completely. And at first I was a little upset by that because I was like, oh my gosh, my idea is so much more clever. It would have been so much better if it had been done that way. But by the end, when more twists started coming, I was like, no, okay, I'm cool with this. I like the way this played out enough. So I'm not too upset. But I also was not a mastermind who had completely figured this book out. But all in all, I thought this book was just so much fun, such a page turner. Love the atmosphere, love the isolation aspect, love the multiple perspectives and how quickly it keeps you intrigued in the story and you can't trust anyone. You're trying to figure out secrets about everyone. And I especially really liked how this book kept the twists coming. After the big twist, there's still a couple more twists, and even to like the end 2 chapters or so, there's still things you're finding out. I was literally sitting on the couch reading this like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, what is happening? So it really was just such a great experience to read. I love thrillers that can make me feel like this. This is why I want to do a thriller reading vlog right now, because I just want to fly through some thriller books. It's just one of my favorite things to do. So yeah, I would definitely highly recommend this. It is my first Alice Feeney, so I can't compare it to any other Alice Feeney's, unfortunately. I do own His and Hers, so that'll probably be the next Alice Feeney book that I read. But if you've read other stuff from Alice Feeney, if you think I would like her other stuff, let me know and I will definitely add it to my TBR pile. So I think the next book I want to pick up is probably Not a Happy Family by Shari Lapena. This is another book of the month thriller that I have recently gotten. And again, I have never read any Shari Lapena, so I don't have any reference. I've heard about Shari Lapena's stuff. Seems like she might be kind of a similar author to Alice Feeney, writing domestic thrillers, fast-paced, fun. Some people might deem them as a little bit more of a, not cheesy thriller, but I kind of think about it like an airplane thriller, as in like a book you would buy at the airport to read on the airplane, because you know you can just like fly through it while you're on the plane, but then you might not think about it for a long time after. That's kind of how I have categorized Shari Lapena in my mind, which is why I've never like gone out of the way to read any of Shari Lapena's books in the past. But with this one coming out recently as a book of the month selection, I figured it's as good a time as any to give it a shot. I've heard pretty good reviews about this book so far. I've heard some mixed things. I've heard some people be disappointed with it, but I've got no expectations, so I should probably have a good time with it. I know it is a neighborhood drama, I think. Maybe it's a family drama. It looks like a neighborhood drama, but it also, I think it's a family. Family's in the name, so yeah, it's a family drama. But it is about these siblings and their parents are murdered one night after an Easter dinner with their 3 adult children, and it seems like they all didn't like the parents, and so it seems like they all could be suspects for murdering their parents. So that sounds like a ton of fun. I just love when you can't trust characters, when you've got a large cast, you don't know who's responsible, everyone's got secrets, they're all coming out. Sounds like it's gonna be a good time. So I'm going to dive into this one tonight, and after I get 50 pages in, or maybe a little more, depending on how fast paced it's going, I will update you on how it's going. couple days later and I'm about a little over halfway through Not a Happy Family by Shari Lapena. And to be honest, after I was like 50-60 pages into this book, I already considered DNFing and just moving on to a different book, but I decided I would give it a little bit of a chance. And now that I'm halfway through, I still wouldn't regret it if I DNF'd it, but I do want to know the ending. So let me explain what's going on. I am finding out things about myself and my reading tastes and my preferences in thrillers and mysteries. For one, this is certainly more of a mystery than a thriller. It was marketed as a thriller, but it's 100% a mystery, not a thriller. So that's not fun to think you're reading a thriller and then it turns out to be a mystery. When this story starts, the parents die very soon. It starts at Easter dinner, you see a little bit of Easter dinner, then like next chapter you find out parents are murdered, investigation commences. I have a hard time investing in a story when immediately characters die and the rest of the book is just figuring out who killed them. I just don't care. I just don't care. If I didn't get to know the characters, if they weren't interesting characters, it's very hard for me to care. The same thing happened when I read A Slow Fire Burning by Paula Hawkins, where it starts with the character dying and then it's like, oh, who did it? And I just don't like stories like that as much. So this is just a personal thing. If you like stories like that, you might like this more, but I'm not liking that part of it. Also, the cast is humongous. There's so many characters in this story. There's the siblings, all of their spouses, there's other people involved, the aunt, another character who, it's a spoiler to tell you who they are, so I won't, but there's like a whole nother thing going on there. And I can handle a book with a lot of characters if they're very distinct, if it's easy to keep up with, or if you feel very anchored in like one or two main characters that you're really investing in and following along in. For instance, not a thriller, not a mystery, but Malibu Rising, that's kind of got a large cast of characters. There's 4 siblings, but the oldest sibling is the one that you're mostly following, and so then it's easy to follow, and they're all very distinct characters, so it's not too difficult to keep up with who all these people are. In this book, you're not really focusing in on any particular character. You have a very large cast of characters. Anyone could have killed these parents. Everyone's got secrets or motives or lies, and they all kind of just suck as people. Like, I don't really like any of these characters. None of them are interesting in any particular way. They're not super distinct from one another. They're all just kind of like spoiled rich kids who just want their parents' money. So I'm just not really enjoying the cast of characters in this one either. All that being said, like, it's not a bad book, it's just not the type of book I like, is what I'm figuring out. So I would feel okay DNFing, but I do want to know who killed the parents. I'm probably gonna be disappointed. It's probably not gonna be that exciting of an ending, but yeah, if I could just have someone spoil this for me, I would put it down, but I don't know anybody who's read this, so I'm gonna have to just figure it out for myself. It is a pretty quick read. I'll be able to fly through the second half, probably all today, and then move on to another book. So I'm gonna try to finish this, and then I'll let you know my final thoughts. We'll see if it was disappointing or if it ended up really pulling it together in the second half. I think we probably both know which is more likely, but we'll see. We'll give it a chance. Okay, so I just finished Not a Happy Family, and that ending sucked. It sucked. It was really disappointing. It made the whole book feel so annoying that the whole time you read this and you're like, who did it, who did it, who did it? And then you find out and it's just like, that's it. And then the book is over. So yeah, I didn't really like this one because it did keep me reading, and because I did not DNF it and I was the whole time wondering, who is it going to be? I feel like I have to give this like a 3-star because it did keep me hooked enough to actually read the whole book, but I didn't like the setup. I don't like that this was marketed as a thriller, but it's a mystery. I don't like how there were too many characters. I hated all the characters. We didn't focus in on any of the characters. The characters didn't feel distinct. And the reveal at the end was super disappointing, and then the book was all of a sudden over. So I have 7 complaints, and I'm giving it a 3-star, which maybe it's more of a 2-star, and after some time of reflecting, I will adjust my rating. So yeah, I don't know. I'll let you know again by the end of the video how this one lands for me as well. Sometimes I just need a minute with thrillers to really know my rating, mysteries, because this is a mystery. Anyway, yeah, I don't know. I'm sure I'll try another Shari Lapena book in the future because this is her 6th book, and I've heard good things about her writing, so I'm sure I'll give her another try at some point. But this one, I just didn't really like it. It just was not that exciting. Did not like the characters. it just wasn't for me. Who it would be for, if you like families where there's like a bunch of rich kids, like if you like inheritance stories, if you like stories where literally anyone could be the murderer and the whole time you're just twisting your head back and forth looking at, it's probably this person, oh, or it could be this person, and it could equally be this person. If you like stories like that, then give this one a try. If you don't, then you're not gonna like it. So yeah, that is not a happy family. Next up, I'm going to pick up a book that I'm pretty sure is actually a thriller, and that is Razorblade Tears by S.A. Cosby. This is my in-person book club's book club pick for the month, and we meet on Sunday, and today is the previous Sunday, so I have like 7 days to read this, so I need to go ahead and get this one in. I'm also excited about this one. It sounds pretty interesting. It sounds like it's gonna be a cinematic thriller where it feels like you're like, it could be a movie, which I really enjoy those as well. What I know about this so far is that it is about these two fathers. One is black and one is white, and their sons were killed. I'm pretty sure their sons were in a relationship together, and there's some homophobia throughout the storyline coming as well from the fathers. And I think they unite to try to figure out what happened to their sons. That's my guess. I haven't actually read the synopsis of this ever. I just have heard people talking about it. So I'm just gonna jump into it with that knowledge and see how it goes. Hello friends, I just got a bunch of book mail, and I know what some of it is. I don't remember what most of it is, so figured we could open it together. The one that I really have no idea, let me see. Cute, cute. A little bit of glitter. Oh gosh, oh dear. This is my friend asking me to be her bridesmaid. Definitely not book mail, but very cute. Oh my goodness, how cute. I will have to call her later to chat. This box, I know for sure, is a bunch of books that I just ordered for myself, because if you haven't heard, there is going to be a book shortage over the next like 6 months or so because of supply chain issues. And so I panicked and I wanted to get all the books that I really want to read by the end of the year now, in case I'm not able to get them later. And so I got these 6 books, which I'm really hoping to be able to read by the end of the year. So we have A Touch of Jen by Beth Morgan. All I know is this one's really weird, and Carmen Maria Machado was the blurb on this, and it uses this emoji like 3 times, which is very funny to see in a blurb. But Carmen Maria Machado said this is bananas good, funny and sharp and surprising and bittersweet. So yeah. Thought it sounded cool. Think it's a story about obsession. Then we have The 22 Murders of Madison May by Max Berry. This has been an anticipated release for me because I loved Lexicon when I read it from Max Berry like 10 years ago or whatever. And I think it's like multiple timeliney or multiple dimensiony, some kind of thriller. Thought it sounded cool. This book has been getting so much hype and praise all over Instagram, and Gabby from Gabby Reads loved it. And that is In My Dreams I Hold a Knife by Ashley Winstead. I'm pretty sure it's a debut thriller. I think it's like academia vibes about this group of college friends who have been apart for a long time and they're coming back together. There's been some tragedy, but I've heard amazing things, so I definitely want to read this one before the end of the year. This one is another Gabby made me do it, and it is The Book of Accidents by Chuck Wendig. This is a very chunky horror book that I had on my eye a couple months ago when I first saw it coming out. Didn't know, gave me Stephen King vibes, I don't know. But then Gabby's loved it, and then a lot of other people have started reading it and they love it too, so I figured I would give it a chance. I also just love this cover. I think it's like haunted house vibes. Has lots of really good blurbs on the back. Oh, Stephen Graham Jones loved it. And yeah, I'm hearing it compared to The Shining, which is what I automatically thought of, and I did love The Shining. It's like the one Stephen King I really liked, so hopefully this one's pretty good. This is another book that was an anticipated release for me, Hummingbird Salamander by Jeff Vandermeer. I've never read from Jeff Vandermeer before, but this is a like sci-fi thriller that just sounds really fascinating, fast-paced, cinematic. It's a lot smaller than I expected it to be. It is like 300-ish pages, but it's like a small book, so I feel like that's nice. I love small books. Also a gorgeous cover. And then the last one, I stumbled across this one in a Barnes & Noble, and I was like, what is that? How have I not heard about this? This looks amazing. And it is Miss March by Virginia Fato. And ever since then, I've seen it a little bit around the internet, but still not really hearing a lot of people read it or talk about it. It's pretty small too. I just feel like this could be a favorite book of the year, so definitely wanted to get it before I couldn't get books anymore, so I can read it by the end of the year and see if it's a favorite book of the year. So those are all the books I ordered for myself, and then I got this package from Illumicrate, which I do subscribe to. I do the book only box though, and this is a huge box. And this is a special edition box, I think. And so if I had to guess, this might be the Night Circus special edition box that I ordered a long time ago that I forgot about because it was just the anniversary of the Night Circus, I think like 10 years. So I think that's what this is, but let's see. Yes, it is. So we have this little Night Circus card, which is going to include all the spoilers for what's in here, but I think I already know, but I don't know. We'll just wait, I won't look at this yet. And in here we have, ooh, this is huge. So this is an enamel pen. It's very large and it is like the clock. And I think, oh my God, yeah, the hands move. And it looks like it's on like a chain. This is beautiful and ginormous. Then we have something in a tube. Ooh, it's a canvas. Oh, wow. That is gorgeous. This is beautiful. And it has a little string to hang it up. Wow. This should be the cover of the book, except it would make it look a little more YA, but oh my gosh. Then we have a tea kettle, I believe it is, coming in this box, which was the big item a lot of people were excited about. So here we have a tea cup, has a little umbrella on it, some little acrobats cards, a bird, a little ticket to the circus, very cute. And then this is the little teapot, it's so cute. And it has this little quote on it. It says, "The truest fairy tales require time and familiarity to become what they are." And the little handle says, "Opens at nightfall." And the top is like a little clock too. Very pretty. And then we have a little saucer plate. So you can put your little teacup on your saucer. How cute is that? And this says, "Trespassers will be exsanguinated." Then we have this really cool book tin that I suspect opens, but I do not know how. Oh, there we go. Gosh, thought I was gonna break it. So yeah, it opens just like that. Very, very cute. I love the details on all these things. They just match the aesthetic of the book so nicely. Then we have a bookmark that is also stunning. Wow, this is gorgeous. So it's like a bird cage with a clock in it and like the circus tent kind of vibe. And it has this little charm that dangles off of it as well. This is so beautiful. And it says, "The circus arrives without warning." That is so pretty. And then we have this poster that gives off very much deck of card vibes with like the opposing black and white. But it has this really stunning red foil that shines in the light, these beautiful roses. And again, the clock. And this is my favorite scene in the book is when they're out in the rain with the umbrellas. Oh. And then finally, the piece de resistance. We have the book. If I can get it out. Oh, wow. Yeah, this is gorgeous. So it has this very beautiful like silvery foil material and then these black sprayed edges at the top and the bottom, but then they're striped in the middle. And it comes with a bookmark tassel as well. And then the cover has a design on it and the spine has a little quote, "The circus arrives without warning. It is simply there when yesterday it was not." And then these really pretty end papers. And there is a little letter to the reader in the beginning. And this is just making me want to reread this book so much. It's such a good fall time read too. So this is like the perfect timing. But like realistically, will I reread this by the end of the year? Probably not because I know myself, but it's nice to think it might happen. Anyway, that was it for my little haul. I suppose while I have you here, I can tell you I have not started Razorblade Tears yet. I've been reading The Nature of Witches by Rachel Griffin, which is actually sitting right here beside me, but I'm almost done with this. So I'm hoping to finish this tonight. This is clearly not a thriller. That's why it's not included in this vlog. I'm just buddy reading this with Hannah. So I've been picking it up over the weekend and into the week. But I'm hoping to finish this tonight and then I'm gonna hop into Razorblade Tears so you can actually hear about that book pretty soon. Let's hope. Sorry if it's a little loud. My window's open. I don't really feel like closing it. It's a laziness thing. Hopefully it's not too loud. Anyway, I have began reading Razorblade Tears. I've kind of been pushing through it pretty quickly. It's a little over 300 pages long, and I'm at page like 200, so I've read quite a bit. I usually check in before this, but I do have the book club for this on Sunday, and today's Friday, and so I've been trying to get through it kind of quickly because I also want to be able to read more than just this book this weekend. I think this is going to be the last book of this vlog, but I just want to read other stuff. Anyway, all that to say, I posted about this on my Instagram story, so if you follow me there, you've already seen this, but as I said there, it is a truth universally acknowledged that whenever everyone else loves a thriller, I just feel about it. And this is another case where I am just feeling about a book. If anything, this has been a really good case for me to learn and confirm that I just don't love books where right at the beginning characters die and then the rest of the book is about figuring out who killed those characters and going from there. That just doesn't do it for me. I just find myself having a hard time investing because I'm learning I am a more character-driven reader than a plot-driven reader. I've always kind of wondered and gone back and forth on that, but I think right now I'm very much a character-driven reader, and so if you start me having to care about these characters who die that I never got the chance to know, that's not great. And I'm also not really caring a lot about the two main characters that are in this story. I'm just not loving the amount of homophobia they have and had for their sons, and I'm like 200 pages in, and I wondered if we were gonna like turn a corner around that. And even if we do turn a corner around that, it's still just like extremely devastating to read about these dads having such a level of disgust for their son's sexuality. And it's really upsetting because now there's nothing they can do to fix it. There's no retribution they can make for the relationships with their sons because their sons are both dead. Their sons have been murdered. And so, yeah, I don't know. I'm just finding it hard to like root for these characters. And that's just where I'm at. I'm just kind of struggling through this, but I have to read it anyway. I would have DNF'd this by now if I did not have a book club to be attending that I had to talk about. I actually would have never picked this up if I did not have a book club that was reading this, because I just knew it didn't sound like something I would like, and I'm right about that again. I'm also having a hard time like separating myself from this and figuring out what all the hype is around this. Like, why do people love this so much? I don't know. I mean, it does jump right into the story rather quickly, like right in the beginning. You get into the story, you get the fathers together, and they start their quest for seeking out who killed their sons and their revenge, and it's pretty gruesome and gritty and high action in that sense, but I'm just not like seeing what everyone else sees in this. It's certainly not going to be a favorite of the year of mine. I'm just reading through rather quickly so that I can talk about this in my book club. It's a bit of a downer because now the last two books in this vlog I haven't really enjoyed, but the first one started out so strong, and so I'm almost considering like, do I try to read another book? But what if I also just don't enjoy that? And then I typically just do 3 books in a vlog, so 4 feels like too much. I don't know. I'm conflicted. Hope this isn't too much of a bummer, but if anything, I'm exploring my thriller reading taste even more with you. And if you have seen these books and you've seen them be hyped up and you've been curious if they live up to the hype, here's just a different perspective of someone who's not loving these books, and maybe that'll resonate with you, and that'll maybe help you save your time if you were wondering, you know, they didn't sound like books you would enjoy but everyone else has loved them. Now you're seeing someone who also didn't think she would enjoy at least Razorblade Tears, and I didn't, so hopefully that's at least helpful in some way. But I'm gonna finish that book, see how it goes. Maybe things will turn around a bit. I don't know where I'm gonna land with a rating. That's gonna be as much of a surprise to you as it is to me, because right now I have no idea, but I will let you know once I finish, and we'll chat about the ending of the book. Hello, good morning. I literally just woke up. This is like the first thing I'm doing today. But I stayed up late finishing Razorblade Tears last night, and I really want to talk about it while it is as fresh as possible. In a bit of a surprising turn of events, I actually enjoyed the last section of this book the most. So like the last 100 pages I found to be the most entertaining, the most fast-paced. That's what got me the most gripped in the book. So it actually did end up getting a little bit better. I still stand by all the things I said before. It still didn't have like an element of a ton of surprise, which is what I really like in thrillers. I like twists and turns and surprises and shock value, and this is just more of like an action book. It is a very cinematic book. It reads very much like you're watching an action movie. There are a lot of fight scenes, there is just a lot of action, and then there's like calm moments in the car or while they're healing themselves and their wounds in between. So it really just feels like you are watching a movie. I think this is being adapted into a film. I feel like it was probably written with the intention to hopefully be adapted into a film, and that really shows in the writing. I feel like it just doesn't waste a lot of time on slowing the story down and being in the story. It's just like, okay, what's next, what's next, what's next? So it is a faster paced book, but it is just like action. It is not like, I don't know. It's hard to explain why I just don't love this book. I think, you know, it was just okay. It was like a standard book for me. It was a standard kind of action drama kind of book where things happened, there were characters, and that was it. It just wasn't something that really blew me away. I, the whole time, just had trouble connecting with these fathers because they just are so homophobic and transphobic, and racism comes into it too. And it's just like, I don't really know. The author doesn't try a lot to get you to empathize with their point of view. Like, the author is not trying to get you to understand why they would be homophobic, which I understand because that would be weird to read. But that also creates this barrier where it's just so hard to connect with them and to root for them and to want them to grow. And also with the sons being gone, it's like not a lost cause because of course they can still just become better human beings, but it's just so sad that their sons didn't get to experience this version of their dads that is coming out now that they're gone. So I guess this book did draw emotion out of me, and then it annoyed me, it frustrated me. I was getting mad at these characters, which is a success on its own in one way, but I really like to be able to love and root for characters and care for them if they die and feel really attached to them in fight scenes and stuff. So that's kind of what was missing for me. I think for rating value overall, probably just like a 3. That's where I go when I'm like, I don't know. The first 200 pages was like a 2-star reading for me, and then the end was like a 3, 3.5 at different times. So I'm just gonna round it out at about a 3. I'm interested to see what my book club ends up discussing about this book. I think it'll be fun to chat through because it is definitely a violent and gruesome book, and I don't know if all of them typically read stuff like that, so it'll be interesting to see what everyone else thought about it. So that is it for all the books I'm reading for this vlog. It was a bit of a mixed bag, as it usually is with thrillers, and I think I still hadn't settled on some ratings earlier on, but I feel confident saying Rock, Paper, Scissors was a 5-star thriller for me. It gave me exactly the experience I want in a thriller. It was so much fun. It was a page turner. That was a 5-star read for me. And then Not a Happy Family by Shari Lapena, I feel like that's gonna have to just sit at around like a 2.5. Very middle of the road. It was fine. It did nothing interesting. It did nothing original. It did nothing new. And it bored me. And I was just trying to like get through the book. And then Razorblade Tears, like a 3. So at least I got one 5-star thriller out of all this. If you've read any of these books, comment down below and let me know what you thought of them. If you loved them, if you hated them, if you felt about them, we can chat about that all down below. But that is it for me. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all in my next video. Bye!